evening, Lagos, and good evening, Nigeria, and good evening, the world. Welcome to the 4 at 5. And as you can see, we are 3 today because the 4th person is still coming. We are waiting for her. You know the logistic of the system. You know, the reality is that, in fact, behind the scene, I just finished talking to my other 2 sisters here, that if they make a comment about our shortcomings, I will now send all the witchcraft here to come and attack them where they are, so that they will experience what we are experiencing. So, by having said that, I'm sure she will join us when she's able to maneuver the things that she cannot maneuver. Thank you. As usual, we are the 4 at 5, and you know the 4. The 4 is, we are, like we said, we're opening the widow's window so that we can redefine widowhood, build her mental wellness so that she can develop the widow's might in her. And today we are looking at a very peculiar discussion. We are starting with widow's birth family. But the coming weeks we are going to be looking at widow and her family series, starting with her birth family. I'm going to start with this story. You know, last week, we are still in the UK. Last week, I put up the story. This young lady, widow, got into my space and started telling me her story. Her husband died 6 years ago. 2 years ago, her brother-in-law came and wanted to take her son to Obodo-Oyibo. That's what she said. She refused. And she refused from the one that she didn't, like she always said, she didn't know what they did to her, that she accepted, that she believed that it's just they used on her. She accepted that when they now said to take the son to Lagos. And like she said, I mean, I'm just telling you her story. She said that by the time they took the girl, she works at the airport. If she stays in Port Harcourt, by the time they took the son and they were heading to the airport, that was whatever it is that happened to her, got over her. And she started screaming, running after them to give her back her son. That is her story. But that was 2 years ago. So since that time, she's not been able to. She said the son is here in Lagos. She has visited one time and she saw the son going to give toilet tissue to somebody in the guest house because the family has a guest house. The son is 6 years ago. The husband died 6 years ago. So sometime within the week or within some time ago, she now called the sister-in-law. The sister-in-law is the woman that is married to her brother-in-law, a wife like her. I have not, because it's a case that is going on, I didn't want to put viral the recorded discussion of this sister-in-law. I put it in a group and I'm sure you people had it. Because when I read that, it was stunning. Because the sister-in-law said it to her, that she's never going to get, she should even be happy that they left the girl with her. That this boy that the child is a boy and he has to grow up under a canopy of a man. That is the sister-in-law. And it's still say back what we are saying about we women and how we indoctrinate boys. When you're talking about this rape and everything, Regina said it last week. Because we have raised boy to be a demigod. Look at the woman saying that because it's a boy, he has to be raised under a man. And they took that child from her. So, like, she sent me a story, and when I now talked to 1 or 2, 3, 4 lawyers, they now said, first of all, let her write to the human rights. In fact, the brother-in-law, if you hear the telephone discussion, she recorded it. The 2 of them put mouth together. You can hear them say, you cannot do anything. If you come here, we will kill you. If you like, go to any human rights that you will not see this boy again. So she now said, I said, write first so that we can, that's the first step forward. And she started writing. 2 days ago, her text woke me up as I was driving her. I looked at the text and she said, her sister, that is her own sister, called her and tell her not to write again. That her pastor said to her that this is a dangerous zone she's trading, that those people are highly diabolical, that she should just take it to God in prayer. So that is that one story. Then the second story that rode between me and Gozie was this. This girl, the husband just died abroad. A marriage of 4 years. As I'm telling you, I spoke with the girl yesterday evening. They are planning the burial of this man. The in-law has never ever, since few days ago, the man died, pick up her phone. She does not know how the burial is going. She does not know anything. She is left at home. And she now told me that what they now want to do, that her family said that they want to do, is to go to the man's village, to go and tell the village people that the man is dead. And I asked him, which man are you going to? Which man village? He said, I said, is your brother's-in-law from what you're saying? Because the husband died in Ireland. So give and take, the corpse is not even coming home. So I said, who are you now going to meet? He said, it's the man's uncle and the relative. And I said, you are going to meet people that have the main siblings have never answered your phone call, have never told you that the man is dead. You are just hearing the story from the man's daughter, because the man had a daughter before the wife died. The wife died before he married this girl. So, and the question is this, Gozie, I'm going to start with you before I go, because I could see Bumi and her face. The role of family in helping to support the widow. If you know, if we put it up on Facebook, I could see somebody's comment. In fact, I remember one girl put up and said, that is what the mother told them, that they should leave the fight, that the time will come, and the time never came. So what are you doing? Yeah, but Gozie, let's hear you.
Now, first of all, I don't believe that any in-law who has the interest of his dead brother at heart and the interest of the children of the brother will separate the children. This widow in Port Harcourt has only 2 children, right?
Yeah, the boy and the girl.
The daughter. Now they have taken the son and told her that she will never see this. What about sister? The question is, what aim are they trying to achieve? Going to give tissue to somebody at the guest house exposes him to sexual abuse. You see, each time we talk about this, people think that we are just exaggerating. Because taking a child from meanwhile, the widow you just talked about, they have printed the funeral poster, and they didn't mention that the man has a wife. When people do things that they are doing it, they love their brother. You see through their charade. It's not about their brother. If you love your brother and you love your nieces and your brother dies, you can send your thought, leaving them there with their mother. But I know that today we are not talking about the other side. We are probably talking about the birth family of this child, of these widows. Yeah. Most of birth is run away from responsibility by telling the widow to pray. Quote me. Yeah. When they don't want to help, they don't want to hire a lawyer, 2 things they do is to say, go to NGO. NGOs are not blood siblings of these people. If your sister is widowed, and you are putting her to a manor home, pushing her to Dreamful, pushing her to wherever you want to put, what about your own ability as the person's brother? Some will even force the widow to remarry. Go and remarry. Not because they want you to be happy, but they want to chunk you off as a burden. Now we keep talking about what in-laws are doing to widows. If you hear the stories of some widows with their own families, where their birth families, you will shiver. So that's what we want to talk about today. What are you doing for that your sister? Stop pushing her to our manor home, pushing her to Healing House, pushing her to Dreamful, pushing her to Sister Regina. What about you? You shared the same womb with this person. What are you doing?
What are you doing? I'm going to hold you. Okay. Let's start with what are you doing, because you said it. The reality is this, because I even know the lawyer I use, and he said the first question he asked me was, what I hope, does he have the support of the family? Because this kind of thing, it's always important to get the family. For me, Gozie made a very valid point. They will push them to Dreamful, push them to Healing Heart, push them to Amana Hope, push them to so many other NGOs, and with billions still coming up. What isn't there a role? Do you believe to me that if a family come together, because like they say, marriage is 2 families. If the family that is of the girl come together and stand with their own family and make a point to that thing, don't you think that will even carry more weight to solving this problem of widowhood than if all the NGOs put together and the policies.
You are right. You are right. Coming together of the family will solve a lot of issues. And
Yes.
I've had experiences with, sometimes this widow come to us. And when we try to advise them, tell them the steps to take, they will still go back to their family to inform the family they are doing this. Immediately they tell the family. I've had cases that should have been resolved under 1 month. It dragged on for 6 months because as we are moving forward, the family is dragging us backward.
But
And that is the role they are playing. Because, and like Gozea said, just because of their greediness, their selfishness, they are not ready at all to reduce any money. So they believe by the time you go to lawyer, you will ask them for money. And these are the things that is causing problem. Why these widows are not fighting for their rights. And another thing that Gozea said is, like even the story you gave the example, telling them they have diabolical means. If they have diabolical means, what of your own diabolical means in your own family? Is it only them that have diabolical means? Can't you use your own and fight them? But they will bring all these stories to tell you and tell you one pastor has dreamt. Which pastor dreamed that you cannot dream also?
no.
Because everything they are going to tell you is just stories to drag you back. They will never tell you stories of a widow that fought for her own and she's getting everything. But the one that will drag you back, the one that will make you not to fight for your right. And another thing where they are doing that, forget it all, jealousy. There is jealousy in families. Because
Yes.
the moment you fight for your right, maybe before you, when your husband was alive, you are the best in the family. You are the star of the family. They look up onto you. The man now died. They think everything has gone down. In-law is collecting everything from you. They will not want to fight with you to get that thing back because by the time you get it back, they believe you are still going to be on top. So they, because of jealousy, they will stay behind. They won't tell you to your face. So they will say, let her go. Don't let her go. Who's going to support her? That will just be what they'll be saying behind your back, just to pull you back. So it's greed, selfishness, and jealousy that is stopping family supporting widows.
Greed, selfishness, and jealousy. That's a big one. But I want to play from this greed, the selfish. Okay, because you said star. If, for example, Gozea is a star in their family, so many people must have been benefiting from that star. That's for sure.
Yes.
Whether they accept it or not is another question. So, because the reality is this: if you now let that star dim, of what benefit is it? But that is a discussion for another thing. Because you know, like this woman that you
Dale, let's discuss it today.
okay. Of what benefit is it to? Of what benefit is it to them? What? Let me know.
It's not everybody that benefits from you that want you to succeed. Some people are benefiting and they are in competition with you without your knowing it. So when suddenly your high income earning husband drops dead, they go behind your back and they dance to a drum. Aha, we have caught up with her. Or aha, we have surpassed her. Yeah? And suddenly you want to raise your head. Suddenly you want to rise. They won't be happy. They will not be happy. And the most people that do this are people you have supported. You and your husband have built up, have made sure that they're okay.
No, okay. Yeah, what you're saying is absolutely true. In fact, I have a vivid example of my own when it happened. And in fact, I remember my mother saying to me that one of my uncle's wife said to her directly when my husband died, or also hope, or if I hope, I'm going to you know,
Exactly.
this is real story. You know, they said, hey, it's everything hope. At least that thing that is holding hope is dead. Let's see. This one is not gossip. He said it to her. You know, but that is a human issue.
Jealousy.
Yeah, human jealousy you're talking about. But because the essence of this program is to address things. Looking at this woman's story, the pastor, the sister said that her pastor told her to go and tell her. You can see the first what indirect speech. They said. Your sister and this her sister, because I asked her, this your sister, is she married? He said yes. Does she have children? She said yes. Is she living with her children? She said yes. And she now believes that in the loss of your husband. So I now asked her, that pastor that told her, how many times has pastor stood on the pulpit to talk about it and preach against it as a topic, as a discussion, as an ill, as something that is forbiddable by God?
Yeah.
And I mean, that day I was so, in fact, I said to her, you see this discussion, you see this decision, I cannot help you make this decision. It is your decision, you go and make it. But at what point do you get in? Because remember, you are a mental health somebody. I mean, somebody that is widowed is already in a state of low state. You know, there's fear, there's confusion, whatever it is. I don't know all the words, the emotion you can bring in. Every emotion is at the short change, especially the negative one. So, do you blame her? When her family that she's anchoring on, remember she has two families, the husband and the Beth family. And now the husband family has thrown her, pushed her away like a piece of rag. And she goes to the Beth family for succor, and they give her. How do we address these things, both to the family, Bumi, and to the widow herself?
Like you just said, that is why I keep telling widows, no entitlement theory. Don't believe your family should stay for you. Don't believe your husband's family. Don't even stand on friends. Stand up for yourself, because we only see faces. We don't know what is in our hearts. These people that even your immediate sister can be the evil one that will bring you down. I've heard of a widow that the husband died abroad. They came to Nigeria. She packed all the money. They sold their property, sold houses because the husband died. Came back to Nigeria, gave this money for her brother to keep. When this was not working fine, she wants to go back. The brother chopped all the money till today.
I know
Nothing.
But she give the brother money to keep.
Because that is what we are saying.
Exactly.
We need to stand up. Our mental health, our vulnerability. You know, this thing that we are talking about, vulnerability. Even when my own husband died, I was vulnerable at the time. Because when you come, you know, at that time, because if they told me that I could sit in a meeting with this my big mouth from me that in secondary school, how many suspension that I get with my big mouth, they will talk to me. I will not be able to reply just because husband died.
Yeah.
So at times when it happens, you don't know. You don't even know what is wrong with you. Your mental well-being is zero level. So at that particular time, you don't even know what to do. Yeah. And if you are not careful, you don't have people around you that are good. Because there's some people that will be telling you good things. Some people, all they will come and tell you, it is well. Be strengthened. The Lord will strengthen you. As if that is what you need at that time. Who tell you that you don't know it is well? So these are the things that is causing it. We need people that will surround us at that time, that will help us to build us up, to help us to understand the situation we are facing now. Because this situation, if you don't understand it, it's not easy to lose a husband, though. You don't understand what you are facing at that particular moment, then you are in big problem. Because they will ride on you.
Yes.
They will ride on you.
Let me hold you there so that we'll still come back. I go there. I'm going to come back to you because the way you jumped, why will we give you? The reality is this, our mental level, and remember, it's the brother. Because you give the woman some excuse. In fact, this thing she's selling, last Christmas, hold on,
you should not be as you can trust with certain things.
How will you know? The devil just took over. We always put everything on the devil. Let me give you another scenario. Last Christmas, I went to my village. I was doing something for widows in my village, my Beth village. And my mother, there's a widow I kind of, gave some money to start up her business. So when I now started asking about the woman and what is going on with her, they now gave me another story. That is not even only me. That's another one big person in our place shared 200,000 because the lady just got bereaved. And she's one of those, she was not an empowered woman. You know, if an empowered woman from before now become an empowered widow. That's double trafficking. So they now gave her 200,000. So you know what she did? She now gave it to the younger brother, like Bumi said. First of all, she doesn't have an account. So she now gave the younger brother to keep in her account. Let her organize herself and know what to do. So the rest, they say, is history. So it's unfortunate because, you know, I was angry like you are. But when I sat down, this is her younger brother. This is her younger brother. It still boils down. Where do we start? What would you say to the family of the widowed woman? I still maintain that having an example, like when my husband died, I keep saying it. In my traditional rights and everything was protocol because I had good in-laws that are more in number than the bad ones. And when I look back 26 years ago, I'm still seeing three faces that I know. If they had the power in terms of wealth and the mouth to talk, my story would have been a different thing. But having said that, I remember my family from Lagos. We went down to Lagos. If you see my cousins and my sisters and everything, my mother, they were walking around me like a beehive until even one of my in-law came to have called the most older one in our family. He said that they are intimidating them, that I'm already their wife. They are pleased that they are not planning to do anything or do anything that will hurt me. So are you getting the picture?
Yeah.
If the family, I mean, most of these things, this story we shared is beneath. The two women will use that story. First of all, it says it is their culture. I mean, or that the boy is supposed to be raised under a man. Then the other one said that the family that did not tell you when you started calling your husband and you can't reach him, and you now started calling them, and then after, when they eventually got the information that they found him dead in his apartment, they blocked you from your number. She has not been able to reach any of them on phone. And now you're telling me your family, because is telling you so that you go to the village where majority of this family, their siblings is living abroad and Lagos. You go to the village to go and tell you. I mean, what? This family of these people, are they not really supposed to come out? This girl sent me a text, the one that the son is not there. He said, Mommy, I just feel like killing myself. What is this? I can't eat, I can't sleep. My son, whenever I'm sleeping, I'll just see him calling me, telling me that he's suffering. So because I did that to you.
That child, Hope, we are not going to leave that case. If she's ready to come out and talk about, we are going to discuss this after this. But we are not going. If they have all the connection in the world, they should bring out that connection. You cannot separate a woman from her child.
No way. Parental rights.
But my problem with the widows, they have done things to me a lot that now I wait for them to move before I follow. Because when they report these cases, you move. And the next thing they say, oh, my father said, my mother said, and you become the fool. So these days I will be watching you until I see you make the move. If you make the move and I'm sure you are committed, then I can provide a backup. And my team members know that you don't make that move except I give the clearance. Now, back to family members. When a woman loses the husband, the body language of her family sometimes determines what the in-laws will do. The history of the family, there's a family in my hometown, they are well known from another village, not my village. If you dare, you are a husband to their sister and you touch their sister, as in domestic violence, they will hire truck, is it tipper, and go there, all the Oshobe. They have cousins, many of them, they are known for that. They will drive to that place and finish with you, put you in their truck. And they normally do it during Christmas when everybody is home. So if you beat their sister in February, you are owing them that thing. And now, I was in secondary school. This thing happened not once, not twice. Now, if you are going to marry there, they will warn you. Don't go near those people. But these days we use Christianity to fake everything. It is well. It is so we not even say it well. It's well. There's nothing like it's well. Oh, leave it. It's not every fight you leave. You cannot take my child and I leave you. You don't take the child of the chick from the mother. You cannot take it out. And it is wrong. And if your sister is going through this same thing and you keep quiet, how are you supporting? And like I said on my wall, we are not just talking about cash support, because some families don't even have. Some widows are once even giving to their siblings.
I know.
Come out and support. Come out. I remember the day my husband was buried. A day after, my village union came for condolence. I was surprised they came. The head of the union, Nkwelo Ogidi Association, they came with their vigilante carrying pump action, dressed in uniform. I was shocked. The president did something, the chairman. I overheard him from inside. He said, this girl we gave to you people. Now her husband is dead. If you don't want her again, we can take her. Because she's like a man. We are not even happy that she left Ogidi. So now we don't want any trouble. When I heard it, I was like, hey. But that's a language that he needed to speak, because he read body languages and he already heard stories. But you know, some families, you want to be good. And pastors are, some pastors, let me say some, they are not playing good role in families. They always see vision of death. Touch not my anointed. If it's them, they will quote Bible. If it's another person, they will tell the widow, leave them, leave the matter. How can they take a widow's child? And you tell the widow that they have done. What is diabolical? 6-year-old child. We are going to follow that case. We are not going to leave that case. Even if it means going to the media, some newspaper, anywhere we can go, if the widow is ready, because we might make it and she might not be ready. Let them bring that diabolical. It's not everybody that juju touches. Because these things are happening. These things are happening. Some of these widows, they have no support. Their mothers will say to them, hey, don't. Some was even we are telling me that they were pushing them to go and marry. Their brother and sister recommending husband for them when they are not yet healed in their emotion.
When they are not yet healed. When they are not healed. You know, Gozier said something, the pastors. I mean, you need to, that on 2 days ago, I was so, and I quote what she said. My sister told me that her pastor said you should leave that matter, that those people are diabolical, that you should just put it in prayer. And I asked, where is the place of work and prayer? And my question has always been, I'm 54 years old. I am yet to remember how many times I have heard from the pulpit, and I came from a very religious home, heard from the pulpit, this thing that you are saying, because it's easy, like Ozego, you know, you are the widow, it's easy for them to tell us, take it in prayer. It's God will work. But what is their function in making somebody, I mean, this woman said it, and the reality is this. You cannot imagine her emotion. 2 years, she said, the son called her and said, Mommy, come and take me here. I'm suffering. So all of you are here being a woman. And you can imagine hearing this thing from your son somewhere. How will you be? I mean, how can you sleep? Will you really be able to sleep?
This thing that you are talking about, me, nobody can take my child away anyway. Because me, as you see me, say, my eyes the chap well. The person said, he go not do over juju, he go do juju, he go do prayer, he go do everything, don't go work for me. Because the issue on this thing is the family. Like you said, like Gozier said, when my husband died, all my uncles in my mother's house, they are older than my husband. My own mother brothers, all of them were present at the funeral. My aunties, they stayed with me. My cousins from father's side travel all over. So at the end of the day, there was nothing much that anybody could do to me because they stayed in the house. They were, even the food they ate, it was one of my cousins that organized everything. So at the end of the day, they don't even have a chance to come near me. Exactly. But the problem is most of these, our families, of this widow's family, they don't even come near them. Your husband died, you leave the husband, you leave the child for them to take to a village. You are sitting in the city. What do you expect them to do to your child in the village? I have one of my friend here that the husband of the sister died in Nigeria. in Delta State, and this their widow's right, and they wash the dead body. Can you imagine somebody that, what do they call this? The people that one chance in Nigeria, one chance killed, and you now watch the dead body. You gave the water to the to drink. One chance, so to drink.
Now, because that one chance,
if not for our junior sister, it was a junior sister, because she came from a good family. So they followed her to the village. Immediately they gave her this water. This junior sister got angry, threw the water away and said, why will you give her dead body to the water to drink? Because it has bacteria. And that kind of body, police would have taken it to the morgue for investigation. It's not something that happened and they are burying immediately.
Even if they are burying immediately.
Because you're asking her to drink the water. So, for example, that person, if he doesn't have a good family, that's how she will drink the water. Before you know it, she will start catching disease. Then she will not die. Then the stupid in-laws will say it's because she killed her husband.
Yes.
That's why the juju killed him. You killed her. No juju, it's bacteria infection. So these are the things that family needs to support widows.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought this dimension of it, because the reality is this. Even if you go back to the history, to the story of these traditional practices and so on, I still believe that even those that they accuse, because, this is where the culture starts it. Some culture will say, I've always asked this thing, bad thing is bad. Adultery, fornication is biblically bad. And even to our health, as the person doing it, the mental and the physical implication is there. But my question, because it's always said, sometimes say it's because when you watch other culture, you say it's because the woman slept outside. That's why the husband died. So because Bumi has brought in that discussion from that angle, and brought it. And this part of the things, because if you check some of these families, even that her family too, because this is what they are have been indoctrinated to, I believe that some families, there is this fear in their subconscious, maybe it's that, let us not go and make so much noise. Let us not, because you're a lawyer. Where do we have this place, these two stories put together the culture says, they slept with another man, so that is why the man died. Is it an evidence that is that can be held for people now? Because if you go back to most of these cultural practices, this is the underlying factor. Bumi made the example, this one that they push one chance. If by the time they finish putting this story now, even you will now, if your closer will be asking, are you sure they are not right? Because they will always have a way. A man does not die. Even if you are in New York and the husband is here, by the time they die, by the time they connect the stories that you and the eunuch, even you will be afraid, you'll be doubting yourself. Are you sure that you did not do it? So where do we start? Because I believe that family, even like we are saying that jealousy, even in that family of her, some people under their underlying factor of their action is still on this belief. So they are not on your own, oh Israel.
Anyway, this idea of this person slept outside and this person died. If it's like that, all the married women in Nigeria would have been dead, because most of the men sleep outside. So I don't even think about that. If you want to sleep outside, sleep outside. If you want to sleep inside, sleep inside. If anybody dies, let the person die. My point is this. I've gotten to the point where this is my reasoning, because each time a man dies, the wife is always accused of something.
Yeah.
There's always something she's accused of. And if you are the man accusing, know that one day your own wife will kill you, since you believe that a wife will kill husband. You see, we have to really go crazy with this widowhood issue. If we continue to be civil about it, they will torment more widows. I have met a widow at the psychiatric hospital 8 years ago, 2012. The story her sister told me that led to her coming there. I don't want to go in there because I'm going to start crying again. But her family did nothing until it got to that point. And nobody did juju, but the mental torture through. They did juju to her because they want to break you. First of all, they will spread stories about you that people will hear and cut you off. So if you are not mentally stable, suddenly your close ties cut you off. You go, I'm talking to you from experience, my personal experience.
It's true.
I spent the whole of the year in America. By the time I returned in December, from February to December, I had lost friends, I had lost family members based on stories that they heard. And they never asked me questions. Now, some of them are trying to come back, but not on my life. They will never have access to me and my children. Because if you believe the story 7 years ago, and you believe that I was going to do this and that will happen and this, and suddenly now you think that I'm okay, you want to come back, I cannot give you access to me. Now, when you hear these stories, why don't you go to that widow and ask questions? Ask questions. Now, when this widow is cut off, maybe her source of supply. That's why I keep saying to widows, go and make money. Because if your source of supply is cut off, some of these widows, it affects them mentally. And you go to the market and somebody says to you, hey, you did this. You go to the church, people that used to see you and smile, they will see you and bone. Oh, we heard you do this. And so when they come to you, stop denying, stop explaining, beat your chest and say, yes, I did it. Let the heavens fall. And the heavens will not fall. The accusations are too many. That is my response. Oh, Gozie, I did it. Oh, what will happen? And that was how all the nonsense stopped. Because if you keep explaining and crying and denying and crying and denying, they will continue. So now, if you meet me and say, oh, they said this, I will say to you, oh, was that the only thing you heard? You didn't hear all. I did this once you just told me, and I did more. And I said, but they said you are impotent. They said you removed your womb in UNTH. Is it not they said? They said we'll meet, they said, and they will join together. Widows, you need to sit up. Make use of the mouth God gave you. God did not create you to be animals. You are not a goat. Even a goat does meh. A lot of you are too quiet, too pretentious. Some of you are fake. You are faking humility. You want people to like you. Listen, ask Bumio. Ask my sister Hope. She has had the degree for 26 years. Nobody likes you. As long as you are not mumu, you better sit up. The stories will not stop coming. You killed your husband, you killed him. Even the husbands that had heart failure, the husbands that had kidney problem.
Oh, hold on. The one that had heart failure. Let me tell you how
a husband that died on top of a woman in a hotel room. The wife was brought to me because she was going crazy, that the shame, and then they said she killed her husband. So if you are waiting for the day society will start embracing you and start loving you and stop telling the stories, you are waiting till no end. So when they stop explaining, the explanation is not necessary.
I'm explaining. Sorry. Yeah, it's okay. No, it's fine. Stop explaining. The explanation is not necessary. If you're waiting till the day they would like you, what exactly? Let's play it on the solution side. How do we really, really, really start changing our mental culture? Starting from the woman, starting from the widow. Because the reality is this, there's going to be two things. Either you have the support of your family or you do not have the support of your family. But the reality, that woman said, and I believe that woman, just think about with this COVID issue. COVID is already it has brought in its own mental sickness. If you don't have it before, the only all of us are managing to be sane because everything around us is insane. Yeah. So this widow now, she has no husband and she has no business for some time. Everything is on standstill. The life is just very slow, and she has this her son message ringing on her head. Mommy, come and carry me. I'm suffering here. She said it. Mom, carry me. I'm suffering here. So every day she sleeps with this and wake up with this. And her sister says that the pastor said that this place that you're going is a dangerous mission. Is this a mission? And Bumi, did you listen to the I sent the clip on the group. Did you listen to it?
Yes, I did.
Oh yeah, talk on that clip. I mean, I in fact I was almost tempted on putting it on my social media. I said, let me tread with caution until I get the woman's full permission. Because I'm going to put this. I do not care if you're a woman listening, or if you know a woman listening that has a widow's son, and the widow has called you to come and pick the son on holiday, and you said you cannot do more, she cannot do more than a dead rat. Listen, that dead rat is going to come. I'm just
But
that dead rat is going to come, because that discussion, Bumi, talk about that discussion you had on phone.
That's when I listened to the clip, I was devastated. Because that widow at that time, that widow, with the way she was talking, she's demoralized. She doesn't even know what to do anymore. Yeah. And when you are demoralized, it's going to affect you financially. All these things, it will affect your health.
Yeah.
The total you will be affected. And for you to even get back to that stage again, it's going to take a while. So why
that is if he doesn't have a mental illness before she gets to that stage?
Yeah.
So why will you put somebody through this mental torture? Because number one, this is what they forget.
Children. Did you hear the audacity of the sister-in-law? A woman.
Yes, that's why I'm going. Because they've forgotten something, that when you lose your husband, your children are your companion.
Exactly.
They are the one that you talk to. Even if they are baby, they are still your companion. The more you see these children, the more you smile, the more you rejoice that at least I married this man.
Only hope.
I have somebody with me to remember this man. And you now decide to take that child away. You are wicked.
Wicked.
You are born of the devil. Evil. Rest in your mind, in your soul, in your body. And that is that sister-in-law. I pray for her too. They will take her children away. Because if you can do it to somebody, they must take your own children away so that you feel the pain. You understand how is paining that widow. So it must happen to them. And this is women are our own problem. They are the ones supporting the stupid men. Because, for example, if my husband was alive now and he's telling me all this rubbish, I'm going to tell him off. If you dare bring such a child to my house, you'll be in trouble. If you want to help your brother, you love your brother, pay their school fees. Their mother is. Send money to them to go and eat. Why will you take a child and turn them to house help? Why will you take a child? Imagine, like Gozie said, put them in guest house or different things.
The reality is this, but I'm going to cut you there. I'm going to cut you there, because even if he doesn't send them to guest, even if you're sending them, because the truth is this, Gozie, even if I cannot afford Atlantic Hall, and you now decide to take my son to Atlantic Hall, and I said no, am I not entitled to that?
Yes. You know what? Is the mother of a child is best suited to determine what is good for that child. That you take my child to Atlantic Hall against my consent is irrelevant. I want my children together. I want them bonded, because when they become adults, oh my goodness, I'm going to share some of the stories of the people that are now grown adults who were separated at the point their father died. They were separated from their mothers. What they went through, what it made them become, and how disorganized they are with their siblings.
Yeah.
It's beyond giving them expensive life. And how many of them give expensive?
No, because in this story,
vacation.
Yeah, hold on now. In that clip we listened, the woman asked her, what if they have taken the son to Obodo Oyibo? And if they want to take the woman's son to Obodo, and he said no, is it by force?
It's not by force. That sister, you know what? This program has to go beyond coming out to talk about this. When we meet matters like this, we are going to. Yes, we are going to take it. I'm coming back to Nigeria. We are going to, if it means protest, I'll fly from Enugu to Lagos. Even if it means protest, we gather widows. If you are widowed and you are not ready to come out to the forefront, because we can't keep quiet and allow these women and these men to continue. Look at another woman, took another woman's child, kept in the house and using him to give tissue to people in the toilet. Meanwhile, your own children are there. You will not see good.
And this
And I
woman called you because we are trying to, and the owner of the child said, called you, Auntie, it's me. I want to, what is this? I want to come and take her. If you could see her, she was even carefully choosing her word for her son to come and take for holiday. She didn't even ask her, I want to come and take her back. She was even begging, let her come and take holiday. He said, I should even be happy that some people are looking for that. Anyway, I think what Bumi said something. We're going to put it on that social media today. Where every widows join a prayer. We're going to link a midnight prayer. This woman, if she doesn't receive this time, she will
naked with midnight prayer, nakedness.
Nakedness, midnight, widows. If she does not give this woman, that woman, if you are here, if you know any woman that is holding a widow's son, they are from Benin. Her recorded conversation is with us. And we are just waiting for the woman to we'll bring that recorded. It is the most painful, confusing, I don't even know the word I have ever had, from a fellow woman to a woman asking you to see her son. She even said, Auntie, do you know how I gave birth to that child? I almost died giving that birth to that child.
You're calling her auntie?
Auntie Kobu. It's Auntie Kobu.
But do you know
what kind of auntie?
Do you know my problem with these widows? Do you know my problem with these widows?
My
because
sister.
You can't carry my pikin, and I say I won't pick my pikin. You say no. By force, by fire, I'm coming to.
They told her.
Because
remember they told her if you
come there, I will go there. Forget that thing. I will go there. If not to give Agbero money, I will give Agbero money. We will bombard your house. We will destroy your house. I will carry that pikin away.
You see what I'm saying?
Boldness, they need it.
When you are married into a family, and you want everybody to like you, and everybody likes you, when your husband drops dead, because you're already loved, and because you're already footmat to some of them, they can do certain things to you. When you are yourself, if you are, everybody knows you are Scorpion. Nobody wants to go near Scorpion. If you are Viper, everybody knows you are Viper. Yes, this pretense, when that man is still alive.
Yeah.
You come and take my child. You come and I will go naked. You
it's
cannot
crazy.
take my child.
It's absolute madness. You know, we are gonna round up here and say bye because time is no longer our friend. Yeah.
Can we take an action on this matter beyond here? Let the widow give you a written consent that we can move on this. And then we post that and we can make a call to widows. You decide you are leading this movement and we are backing you up. Let us start with crazy prayer.
Yes, with somebody. Yeah, I agree with you. Well, I agree with you. I'm going to get her again to give a discussion because she said to me, Mommy, I feel like killing myself. It is not a joke. It is not a joke. So we cannot wait for her to either go completely mental or kill herself. So we're going to round up because I have to be on WFM today. We are back to program. But because I'm taking your action and we're going to put it, like you said, we're going to take it beyond that. And if she, now with her permission, she will be here live and join us next Saturday.
Good.
She should come and tell her story.
Yes, herself. Exactly. So that will be recorded. So if you're the woman that is in this and not somebody that is holding that they are from Benin, holding somebody's son, if you're the woman's place, please, we have till now till weekend, return her son. Don't give them that first class don't give her son the first class treatment. She just wants to stay with her son and be breaking the kola nut. Let them be eating together and have a mental wellness. Yes. So please, Gozie, say bye-bye to everybody listening. What I will say to them on a final note is that once the woman agrees, she's going to come here to tell her story, and we will play the recorded discussion she had with this woman. Thank you. Gozie, say bye.
Thank you so much. And whatever you can do to support a widow, please do so. It's only God that will bless you. Thank you.
Bumi?
Thank you so much for joining us today. There is something that as Christians, we keep forgetting. In Isaiah, it is there that widows should fight for their rights.
Right.
Yes. It's in the Bible. So we must fight for our rights.
Fight for our rights. So on this final note, widows fight for our rights. It is no longer the invisible woman, the invisible problem. Let us start putting our mouth. Our mouth will make us visible so that people will know. Because most people do not believe this story. they think it's Nollywood action or whatever, acting. It is real people's real life, and there's so many widows are dying inside it. So till we meet you next week, be looking out to see the woman. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.